Well, it's all over the news as of like 3-4 hours ago. The big, beautiful deal by our
Mr.
current
Trump.
commander-in-chief, Donald Trump. This is big for our industry. It's huge for the nation, I believe.
As long as the follow through is there, I think it's going to be
correct. And
huge.
They came up with a deal. It was between Nippon and U.S. Steel to keep U.S. Steel headquartered and operating in the United States, more specifically Pittsburgh. They are going to be investing $14 billion into the steel infrastructure, which is huge in comparison. A couple podcasts ago, we talked about Cleveland Cliffs and how they were shutting a bunch of stuff down, and a bunch of other places that were shutting things down. This $14 billion with a B is going to maybe invigorate and help that domestic steel and energy sector keep producing.
Yeah, and when I think, steel, or I think Pittsburgh, I think Gary.
Well, the Steelers, right?
Pittsburgh Steelers, right? That's what they're built on. Historically, we have not done well as far as getting loads and stuff out of the Pittsburgh area.
No,
and
horrible.
we think, well, man, there's got to be steel all over the place.
There's not.
There's not, or the stuff that's there is already kind of saturated. But it's encouraging. Bring those towns back to greatness.
Right.
A lot of people have probably been through Gary, Indiana, and like you said before, it's kind of the armpit.
Yeah.
But
But
infusing the money into it.
what does that do? What does $3.1 billion do to a town like Gary? Now, Gary's a pretty big town that was built on industry.
Yeah.
The steel mills there they're basically towns in themselves, right? But what does that do to, I'm going to say new talent, and that's probably the wrong word, but new minds, new innovations, all
Cleaning
of that.
the city up.
Right. How does that help?
But and look where they're located. They're down at the bottom of Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
So they can service Detroit, where the automakers are.
Yep.
They can get their raw materials from like northern Minnesota, from the mines down through the Great Lakes.
Right.
Or
rail,
obviously
too.
it was put there for a reason.
Right.
But I'm excited about it. It's going to be awesome.
It's right on. It's right on a main thoroughfare of the United States, both north and south. If you think about it, you got 65 and 80 or 90, whatever you decide to take there. But that's huge. They said that this bill is going to protect 100,000 jobs, or keep, or
create.
100,000 people now, because of this, are going to have a job. So what does that do to the economy tenfold? And, as they still have jobs, now we don't have people out looking for jobs or on welfare per se, and all of those things. And hopefully people start buying, and this is just a kickstart to it. They said the big thing about this deal was they're hoping that it will help stabilize the supply chain of the steel industry throughout, the trucking and the rail industry. Every week we do a run from, pretty local here, that is just the first start of, I'm talking about those counterweights that we do that get painted. We don't haul the outbound stuff because they go down, but they get down to Chicago, they get put on a rail and brought down to, I'm going to say Memphis or something like that. But if production keeps going, steel prices keep going, we can keep it in the States, and we don't have to rely on someone else to produce that steel. It should only help America.
Well, and we have the raw materials here, or at least some of them.
Right.
Because we just talked about the iron mines shutting down up in northern Minnesota.
Right.
And now they're going to infuse, I don't remember, what was it, $6 billion?
Something like that.
No, it wasn't that much. But they're going to infuse into the mining, the mines up in northern Minnesota. And we used to go up there once a month.
Yep.
And it's beautiful, but that's what the town revolves around.
Right.
And if they can keep that going, and it's very optimistic for all the towns that once relied on the U.S. steel industry, and if they can bring it back, it's he's doing what he said he was going to do, and I guess time will tell. But I'm
right.
excited about it.